You see me have you work. You see me do me dirt. So me for that work. When you walk a la. I'm in the cafe, my da. Join me at dessert. Nothing to have you lurking.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Snap Shadows from Fenty Beauty, but before I get into that review, I want to talk about something that makes it sound like it's really dramatic. It's not. What I want to say was I probably will not be doing too many product reviews this year, and that is because I realized I have so much makeup. I have enough makeup to feed a small village. I really do not need anything else. My goal this year is not to buy new makeup unless I really need it. My mom actually lectured me on this. She was like, why are you buying so much makeup? What are you gonna do with it? I know that she's right, and I really don't need this much makeup. I'm just trying to avoid being super wasteful because I know the beauty industry creates a lot of waste already. So if I can do my little part in reducing that, then why not? Basically, I'm not going to be buying new products just because they're shiny and new. Only if I have a need for them, then I'll buy them. I probably won't have too many new product reviews this year. I have this review that I'm filming right now, obviously. Other than that, I don't really know what's gonna happen this year, so I'm not gonna buy something for the sake of reviewing it on my channel and then never using it again. I hope that makes sense. I hope you're not too disappointed in me. I got this idea from a few other influencers, namely Ali Glines and Raw Beauty Christie. If you do not watch them, they are two of my favorite YouTubers at the moment. I will link both of them in the description if you want to check out their channel. Anyways, yeah, I'm ranting. That's pretty much it for that rant. I hope that made sense. For these Fenty palettes, I tried to pick up two palettes with color schemes that I am lacking in my collection. I got these two palettes. I have the number 2 palette and the number 6 palette. So number 2 is called Cool Neutrals and number 6 is called Smoky. Okay, so let's just give you guys a quick look into these palettes. If I can open them. They're kind of hard to open. I've noticed that. If you have nails, good luck opening these. This is the number 2 palette, Cool Neutrals. I am really excited to use this, and this is what the number 6 palette looks like, the Smoky palette. I think the two palettes look pretty similar, but obviously this one has some darker shades in it. So here's a side-by-side of the palettes. I feel like a lot of people who are getting two palettes are probably going to pick up these two. As in, like, if you pick up one, you're probably going to think, oh, it would look really good with this other one. Because I feel like these are really complementary palettes. I'm just going to keep these open because I ain't got the energy to keep opening and closing them. Okay, so now let's talk about the palettes. Fenty came out with 8 mini palettes. Even if you are super picky like myself, you'll probably be able to find at least one that just like satisfies your soul. You know, it's like, for example, if you're walking past a group of guys and there's like 7 guys, at least one of them will be kind of close to your type. I don't know where I'm going with that metaphor, so let's just stop. So these palettes are $33 each, which is kind of pricey if you ask me, but I'll be talking about that later. However, if you do buy 2 palettes on Sephora's website, and I think the same deal applies on Fenty Beauty's website, then you save $5 USD, so that's pretty cool. I also think most people are probably considering getting 2 palettes anyways. This is what the other palettes look like. We have number 1, True Neutrals, number 2, Cool Neutrals, number 3, Deep Neutrals, number 4, Rose, number 5, Peach, number 6, Smoky, number 7, Cadet, and number 8, Pastel Frost. If you guys have seen the ads for these palettes, you know that they snap together. That's why they're called Snap Shadows. If you were for some reason wondering how to do that, basically you take your 2 palettes and it's pretty simple. You just line them up just like this and you just press them together. And that's it. Now you have one compact little palette with 2 palettes in it. Also, I realize when the palettes are stuck together, they're easier to open. Okay, but now I need to disconnect them. Ugh, come on. So now we're gonna get started actually using one of the palettes. I'm gonna start off today using the number 2 palette, but in the second half of this video I will be using the number 6 palette. So I will put the timestamp above me if you want to skip ahead and just watch the number 6 palette in action. I did prime my eyes. I used the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover concealer. I just patted it in with my beauty blender and that's it. I do have foundation on and eyebrows, but nothing else, so my dark circles are popping. But what can you do? Okay, they're genetic. Anyways, let's zoom you guys in a little bit so we can start playing with this palette. Alright, so now that we are nice and up close, let's get started. So just to start off, I'm going to take this taupey shade in the middle of the palette. This shade is called Wipe It Up. I'm going in with a NYX 32 brush. I'm just gonna dip into that kind of heavily, just go into my crease. Honestly, I'm kind of nervous about these palettes because, like I said, I don't have any colors like this and I'm not sure how grays perform on my skin tone. Trying to decide if I like this color. Not if I like the formula, but just if I actually like the color itself. So far, this has been really easy to blend, but I don't want to jinx it because this is literally the first color. Okay, I'm liking that. So now I'm going in with this shade at the bottom right side of the palette. This shade is called Getting Toasty. I'm just going to take the same brush, clean it off on my pants. Don't judge, you do it too. So this shade, I'm going to place it on the outer corner of my eyes just to create some depth there. I mean, it's definitely there, but I feel like I'm going to have to build it up to get it to look how I want it to look, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but just something to note. Doing a combination of sweeping and also pressing, because you guys know when you obviously just press shadow in, it is way more pigmented. Ooh, okay, this is definitely working. I mean, obviously there is color on my lids, which is what you want from eyeshadow. So I'm going to switch brushes. This one is a little bigger and fluffier than the previous brush. And now I'm going to mix the two shades that I just used and just blend it out a little more. I really want this look to be kind of like fluffy and blown out. So far, at least, these shadows are not as pigmented as eyeshadows that I'm used to working with. Hear me out, I think that's actually working in my favor because I don't have to worry about putting down too much color initially and then just blending, trying to fix it. I kind of like that you can work your way up to the pigmentation that you want. Yeah, that's just something that I noticed. For some people, that will be a very bad thing, that you have to work. Hey, Fenty! So now we're gonna play with some shimmer. Ooh, this is my favorite part. For the lid, I'm going to take this color on the bottom left. This color is called Upper Class. Can't relate, Rihanna. Some of us are lower class, but this shade is called Upper Class. So I'm gonna start off by taking it on this brush. I don't know what you would call this brush. I guess like a dome brush or a paddle brush. Do I want to wet it? Okay, let's try it dry first, and then if we need to wet it, we can. So let's just try one sweep. Not bad, but I actually think I want to go in with my fingers. I don't know why I keep talking like this. If you guys didn't know, glitters and shimmers just perform better with your fingers because of the warmth on them. So I'm gonna take some of that and just try and patting it on. Oh yeah. Okay, can you guys see that difference from where I patted it on and then from where the brush put it on? Obviously, there's a clear difference. So I would say if you are using these palettes and you want to use the shimmers, probably go in with your fingers first. I'm not going to be doing a cut crease, obviously, but I want to kind of create the illusion of a cut crease. So I'm going to take this super tiny brush. The brush is from Real Techniques. So I'm going to go ahead, take more of that shade Upper Class, and I'm going to create the shape of a cut crease. Ooh, okay, this is pretty. And I am going a little higher than my actual crease. I do feel like I lost a little bit of that depth in the outer corner. So I'm going to go back in and mix those two shades together again. Wipe It Up and Getting Toasty. And just go back to that outer corner. Honestly, I've only been sitting here for about 5 minutes and that eye is done. I think that looks really, really good. Not to toot my own horn, but beep beep. I did mention earlier in the video that I already have foundation on, and I think that was a good choice. There's not too much fallout under my eyes. I mean, I don't know if you can see any, but I can't really notice much. The little bit that I do see, I can just like take my fingers and wipe it away. I'm gonna go off camera, finish this eye, finish up the rest of my face, and show you guys the final look for today. Hello guys! So I am back and this is what my face is looking like. Underneath my eyes, I went in with the shade Getting Toasty, and then in my inner corner, I went in with the shade called You There. So let's go ahead and show you guys a close-up. Obviously, I do have some thoughts already on the palette. Maybe you guys already know what they are, but I'm going to save my final thoughts for the very end of this video after I've played with both palettes. In terms of what I think about this palette, which is the number 2 palette, Cool Neutrals, I really like it. I think the color scheme is perfect. I mean, there are some darker looks that you could do. For example, if you use the 3 shades here that make this little L, you could get a really dark smoky look. Then if you go in with kind of this quadrant right here, you could get a more light, kind of just glowy, soft glam look. I don't really know what half of those words mean, but my point is I feel like this palette itself is very versatile, and especially in combination with the number 6 palette, I feel like you could get some really amazing looks. However, this palette on its own, you can definitely create looks with it. And I think that's what I like about this whole collection, is that you could rely on one palette alone if you wanted to, or you could combine 2 of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this portion of the video. The next time you guys see me, I will be playing with the number 6 palette. And I'm here to be playing with the number 6 palette from Fenty Beauty. So just if you need a reminder, this is what the palette looks like, and this is the Smoky palette. I am super excited to use this. I have never done a look like this before, so we'll see what happens. So I did prime my eyelids, and I did the exact same thing that I did last time. Now we can get started playing with this palette, and I just put this in my nose. To start off, I'm going to take this shade on the bottom right of the palette. This shade is called Tan Lines, and I'm going to put it in the crease, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a plan for this look, so let's try that. Is it just me, or did that literally do nothing? Actually no. Okay, I can see it a little bit, but I was expecting a little more from it. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna build it up. While we're here, I wanted to ask you guys, are you guys watching Shameless? Oh my god, it is such a good show. It's on Netflix if you have never heard about it. Basically, it's about this quote-unquote dysfunctional family, and their dad is just constantly drunk all the time. Honestly, it is hilarious, but it also like oddly emotional. I am almost done all of the episodes available on Netflix. I'm on season 8, and I believe there's 10 seasons, but only 9 are available on Netflix. There's a lot of body parts. If you watch the show, you'll probably see more body parts than you initially wished for. So I just skipped those parts because I don't really care. Like, I love all the characters. I love how they portray like this family's life, and I just think it's definitely worth a watch. If you have not seen Shameless, definitely watch it, and let me know your thoughts if you already watch it, because I have a lot of thoughts. Okay, so this shade, it took a minute to build up, but obviously you can see it. Like, there is a clear difference between my 2 eyes. And now I'm going to go in with a more dense brush, and I'm going to take this shade on the top row in the middle. This shade is called Chestnuts. So I guess it's supposed to be brown. Is it supposed to be brown? Is that why it's called Chestnuts? I mean, that does not look brown at all to me. I'm going to take that on a denser brush and put that a little lower in the crease. So far, it looks okay. I mean, I'm not amazed, but it's doing the job. So now I'm going to switch back to that fluffier brush, also still using the shade Chestnut, and I'm going to tap that on the outer third of my eyelid. I know you guys would probably like throw a fit if I didn't use the black in this palette, so I am going to use that. I'm going to take it on the same denser brush that I used before, and I'm going to take a little bit of it. Okay, this shade is called That Deep. Okay, let's start off lightly, because you know, you can always add more, but it's really hard to take it away. I'm going to pat it onto the outer corner. Oh, I see it. Can you guys see that? She's definitely there. You know what? I think this is the first time I've ever used black eyeshadow like on my actual lid. I feel like I look like I just got punched in the face, but you know what? If your smoky eye doesn't start off like this, then you're doing it wrong. Okay, so now I'm going to take a very little bit of that same black shade on the fluffier brush and just kind of whisk it outwards, if that makes sense, to kind of make my eyes look longer. Now I'm going to play with this color that I was talking about before, called Second Date. I did swatch this color before, and I guess I'll swatch it again right now. It just feels really dry and gritty, so let's try that. Okay, it's not too bad, but I don't know if you guys can see if it's picking up on camera. It is super glittery, but it's also super like dry to the touch, so I don't know how this is gonna look on my eyelids. It's definitely opaque, so I don't think I need to add like a black base beforehand. Okay, I guess first we'll start off with a dry brush. This color is so pretty. It has like specks of blue in it. Ooh, no. That does not look like that swatch looked. But I mean, that's to be expected, because like I always say, swatches are not indicative of how an eyeshadow will look on your eyes. Now I'm just gonna try swiping it on with my fingers. Okay, you know what? That's actually not bad. Okay, yeah, that's not terrible, but as you can see, there is a lot of fallout under my eyes. So if you are using this shade, make sure you do your eyes before you do anything else. I'm gonna go back in with my brush and see if I can really hit that inner corner, because I feel like she's looking a little bald. I really like that. I think if you wanted it to look way darker, you could probably go in with a black base. But I actually really like this the way that it is, because like I said, the color is opaque. It will take you a minute to get it to full opacity, but it is opaque, so I don't think that you need a base. So now I'm going to do this eye, and I'm going to zoom you guys in a little more so that you can really see exactly what I'm doing and how the colors are working. Both eyes are now done, as you can tell. Obviously, I have nothing else on my face, so I'm gonna go off camera, finish up the rest of my face, and then give you guys some final thoughts on these palettes. Just before I go though, once again, I wanted to show you guys the fallout that is under my eyes. I mean, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's more than I'm used to with glitter eyeshadows, because obviously I do expect glitter to have some fallout under my eyes, but I feel like this is a lot. Or maybe it's just because of the color of this specific glitter that I feel like it's a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys. Honestly, it doesn't bother me because I can really easily just clean that up before finishing the rest of my makeup. Yeah, just another reminder, if you are going to be using this eyeshadow, and especially this shade, please do your eyes first. You will save yourself a lot of trouble. Anyways, I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my face. I'm gonna try and put lashes on, but recently I have been struggling to put them on. Like, I don't know why. So if I come back and I'm just wearing mascara, just know that I failed. Okay, so I am back like 2 hours later, and this is what the finished face is looking like. A lot of the makeup that I am wearing is from Fenty. I just didn't record it because I didn't want this video to be 45 minutes long, but everything that I am wearing on my face will be in the description if you want to check it out. So let's get a close-up of these eyes. As you guys could probably tell when I was applying these shadows, they are not the most pigmented eyeshadows by any means. But Your Honor, hear me out. I would like to defend these palettes. One of the main complaints that I've heard with these palettes is that they are overpriced. To some extent, I actually agree. For the same price as one of these palettes, you could get 2 Colourpop palettes and the pigmentation will be better. But I'm also going to show you guys the other side of this argument, and that way you guys can decide for yourself, if that makes sense. Basically, if you follow Rihanna or Fenty Beauty or any of the other members of her like team and you are familiar with their makeup, then these palettes will make sense to you. Like, if you see Rihanna as well as the makeup that her makeup artist does for her, Rihanna is not out here wearing like intricate cut creases with like super fine details, and her eye looks are very simple but also glam at the same time. And I think the pigmentation and the color scheme of all of these palettes suit that aesthetic. I'm hoping this makes sense and you guys are not taking this the wrong way. I feel like some people are disappointed in these palettes because they had different expectations and maybe they aren't familiar with the brand themselves. They just saw, oh look, an eyeshadow palette, let me get it. And I feel like this is not gonna make sense. Okay, so for example, let's talk about Juvia's Place. If you go on Juvia's Place's on their Instagram, you will see that the looks that they show on their page that have been created with their own palettes, their looks are super like fine-tuned, detailed. Every line is crisp and like it is blended to the gods, and that is very suitable for their eyeshadow palettes because their eyeshadow palettes are marketed as like super pigmented so that you will be able to create those looks, whereas I feel like the marketing for these palettes is completely different. I feel like these palettes are made to create more like subtle, soft glam, dewy looks. As opposed to someone who's doing super detailed, like artistic looks. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you bought these palettes thinking that you will be able to do super bright and vibrant cut creases, you're gonna be disappointed. But also keep in mind the advertising and the marketing that has come out for these palettes, then you will not be disappointed because you're gonna look at the advertisements and the short videos that Fenty posts on their Instagram and you're gonna think, yeah, this is pretty accurate. Like I could definitely achieve this with these palettes. And that's not to say that if you wanted to create a cut crease that you couldn't. I don't know why I keep saying cut crease, like there's other things you can do. You could definitely do a more detailed look with these palettes. You would have to spend way more time doing it and way more time blending, way more time building up that color. So if you want to do those super bright colorful looks, I agree with what people are saying, like check out Juvia's Place. Well, there's some drama surrounding them right now. Juvia's Place, Colourpop, even Morphe, like their eyeshadows are, I feel like, formulated for those kinds of looks, whereas these ones are not. The palettes that I tried for them are very cool toned and very like gray undertone. In terms of the color scheme that I gravitated towards, I think the formula is perfect for them. If you are playing with orange and you're playing with peach, generally you want those colors to be bright and super vibrant. I have no idea how those perform, but I actually really like these two that I have, so I'm hoping that you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I think because they are not super pigmented, you can, if you wanted to, just take like a brown shade and do like a quick sweep in your crease and then head out the door. Like you don't have to worry about adding too much color right away. Whereas I feel like if you were to do that with like Juvia's Place eyeshadows, they are too pigmented for a look like that. You catch my drift? Overall, would I recommend these palettes? I think the answer is yes, if you have the right expectations. If I had to give these palettes an overall grade, I would say like a solid B. They weren't terrible and they also weren't amazing. They're just like pretty standard. I like the mirror. I like how small they are. I like that they snap together. I don't know, I like the color scheme of all of them. I think the way that the colors are organized in each palette was really good. I also think that part of the reason why these palettes have gotten so many bad reviews is because nowadays I feel like we're so used to seeing these super eye-catching looks that when a product comes out that is not geared towards that audience, we as consumers kind of don't know what to do with it. We're like, what do you mean I can't do the same thing that I've been doing since 2016? But I like these. I think they are pretty basic, and I also think if you are just starting off in makeup and you want to like step your foot in to Sephora and leave the drugstore, then you could probably pick two of these and you'll have a good foundation to start learning how to use eyeshadow and start learning how to blend properly. Okay, so that is pretty much my 2 cents on these palettes. What do you guys think? Do you like them? Are you thinking of buying them? Do you already have them? Has this review swayed you one way or another? I know my review is kind of sitting on the fence, but like I said, I think it depends on the kind of person that you are. Hi guys, I am back. So I guess this is a 3-part video now instead of a 2-part video. As you can tell by the pictures on the screen right now, these are pictures of my eyes 2 days after I had finished filming the last portion of this video. So basically what had happened was I filmed the first look on, I think it was like a Monday, and then I filmed the second look on a Wednesday, and then the pictures that I'm showing you, this first set of pictures was taken on a Friday. My eyelids just became really dry and scaly to the point where it was flaking like a scab, and I'm not totally sure if this is linked to the eyeshadow. Obviously, it could just be something random, but I just think it's interesting that this happened after I used the eyeshadow. My family and stuff were saying, oh, it could just be like dry skin and you know, it's winter time. And yeah, that's a possibility. Regardless, I just wanted to be totally transparent with you guys in case this is linked to the eyeshadow. So maybe if you do have super sensitive skin, maybe swatch the shadows before you buy them and see if you have some sort of reaction to them. So regardless of what the situation actually is, whether it was some allergic reaction or if it was just a random episode of extremely dry skin on my eyelid, it went away completely within 2 weeks. So what I'm gonna do is stop using the palettes for like a month or two and then revisit them and see if the same thing happens, and then that way I can like trace it back and let you guys know what's the tea. Just to make sure the message is clear, I have no idea if this was caused by the shadows or not, but because of the timing, I'm assuming that it was caused by the shadows. And yeah, I just really wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's important to be as honest as I can. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't include this, just because there is a possibility that it was caused by the eyeshadows. So yeah, anyways, let's get to this outro. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!